Good. Not broken things.
Not broken things is always good. And so far, nothing is dying on me yet.
Misfit toys.
What? Give us a moment, guys. If you are here, welcome. I am making sure everything is working fine before I pull away from this computer and pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. But, Robert is supposed to also be like, hi, guys. How's it going?
I have no energy this week. I already told you.
Yeah, I know, but
we're going to figure it out.
Gosh. We have to pull in Frank. He's going to have to help out, too. All right.
I'm here for moral support.
Moral sleeping support. We got moral sleeping support, guys. So, looks like everything is agreeing and good to go. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Welcome to Talkin Geek, the geekiest show in the verse. I am Aaron. This is the Sleepy Robber right now, apparently, but he is still here. And this is Season 2, Episode 8. So we're chugging along, guys. We're getting this going for you. A lot of news came out this week. Depending what you like to, a lot of video game news, movie news, you name it, it came out this week. So, I don't know.
Well, the big news is that, once again, my contract negotiations failed. I still have to be here. I'm going to figure a way out of this contract at some point.
No, he won't. It's signed in blood. So, and I am, I got blood right now, too, in my mouth.
Whatever.
Anyway, so enough of the banter that we are doing right now. I think we should move straight on to the biggest news, I want to say. You want to go start with that, you think, or what should we go with? Well, actually, I probably should summarize what we do have to talk about. There's actually some Disney news, like I said, that's come out. Some Power Ranger news, some DC news, some TV show news from the 80s, some YouTube information we want to share with you guys, some Xbox news, and movie news, video game movie news, essentially. So, where do you think we should start? Because some big news just kind of dropped. So.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest news, which was the news that dropped today, is about Bob Iger stepping down effective immediately as the CEO of Disney. He's still going to be involved in Disney moving forward. He's actually shifting more to the creative side. And I think he's going to remain in that capacity through the end of next year, I saw. Yeah,
he's going to be like 22 months, I think it said, like helping Bob, I'm not going to pronounce names because we all know I'm terrible with names. Chipacachalo. That was his name. I'm going to go with that. And so he's going to help out, I think, for the next 22 months with him until he moves over completely to his new role. More of like you said, a creative side for it. Yeah. So let's see if he can pronounce the name.
Yeah, it's Bob Chapek, I believe, is, that's how I would say it. I don't know it's that important. But yeah, he's kind of, he's been acting CEO, Bob Iger has, for at least, I think, about 15 years, maybe even more than that. I know he was in charge when Disney, began taking over the world. So they acquired Pixar in 2006, they acquired Marvel in 2010 or
something
11.
Like that.
Lucasfilm in 2012, so he's been in charge of all of that.
He bought everything.
And then obviously Disney Plus, that was kind of he's going out on a high note, as that's been kind of the fastest growing streaming service.
28.6 million users at launch over the first 3 months of it, they said. Like you said, that is the biggest launch for any streaming platform ever. Now,
and he listened to Tom Holland and brought Spider-Man back.
I do have to give Bob Iger that. He gave me a third Tom Holland Spider-Man film. So I love you for that, Mr. Iger. So it'd be cool, though, but like it says, he's not leaving the company. He is still going to be there in a creative role, more or less. Like you said, he's been there 15 years. I'm sure he's going to be there till the bitter end.
He's almost 70, so, everybody's got to step back a little bit.
Yeah.
From the day-to-day stuff. He's, he's a millionaire 70 or a billionaire 70, so that's like 50.
Exactly. He's like, I'm still good, guys.
Not quite like the rest of us, but actually, I think he was CEO in 2005.
Yeah, because that'd be 15 years ago.
He's been making his money for sure, and making Disney a lot of money and making a lot of decisions. He oversaw the acquisition of Fox that just kind of went into effect last year as well. So this guy's I don't know from a financial perspective, what it's going to mean for some of our geeky properties like Lucasfilm or Marvel. They pretty much operate independently, just as long as they're profitable. I don't think Disney really, interferes
like $2
too
million.
much. But we've got some geeky properties out there that Disney owns. So anytime there's a change at the top, you never know what might happen next.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting how it trickles down, essentially. And like I said, he is going to be helping Bob, whatever, with the next 22 months roughly of like, hey, this is basically what I would have done probably, and kind of probably mold him into another great CEO for Disney.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool to see. And I kind of want to lead straight into this next topic though with it, because I think it was perfect. And it's going to be a weird segue, guys, so give me a second. But DC has had some issues now. So Dan Didio, thank you.
It's just Didio.
I was gonna say like Dido, but Didio. He is one of the co-publishers of DC. Has actually stepped down. So if you are watching us live right now, I do have a picture of him up online, so you'll be able to check him out. But yeah, he is actually stepping down in his position. So you might want to say, hey, Aaron, how does that lead in from Disney? Well, the way it leads in is DC has hinted in an issue of, I believe it was Doomsday Clock, that there might be a crossover event with the Marvel Comics. So that's kind of like, okay, they've done a couple of them in the past, Punisher and Batman. I think it was Hulk and Superman or something back in the days. These I'm talking like 30, 40 years ago.
Sure,
guys.
yeah.
So now everyone's like, okay, what's the big deal? Well, in Thor issue number 2, in page number 2, which is kind of funny, he is also talking about DC. So DC and Doomsday Clock, the last issue, they talk about Dr. Manhattan essentially has created the DC universe. They comment that Dr. Manhattan is the creator of the multiverse and everything else.
Sounds like I don't want to read that.
You actually might like it though. Come on.
I don't want.
Created Batman.
No, I don't want all that stuff. Watchmen should exist in its own separate universe. I don't want it to cross over with the rest of DC.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but. So he has created the DC universe, and with that being said, because he created it, he can also, I think you've commented in the TV show and everything, he sees present, past, and future, I believe, right? Is Manhattan's abilities?
Yeah, I mean, well, he sees every moment in time, and certainly the way it's portrayed in, the comic and then the movies as well as the TV show, it's simultaneously. He's experiencing time, all time, all at the same time. So he's holding, if he's having a conversation with one person one time, he's also having a conversation with a different person. Every conversation he's ever had is happening simultaneously. So it's really difficult to kind of portray that. So they've done that in a few different ways, in some interesting ways where he might be holding, like the same conversation across multiple times. Which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, that character, certainly the way that they've fleshed him out, especially in the most recent miniseries in HBO, was it's really hard to explain or imagine how he experiences time.
That's where I got a little lost because I don't get the whole thing. But the funny thing is because he's talking to Superman and everybody, he talks about how he admires them, and he talks about the future. And it says in 2030, a man, what does it say? A god will come and visit, bringing with him the green behemoth. Talking about Thor and the Incredible Hulk, essentially.
Okay.
So that's the lead, and people are like, ooh, like, what is this? And because they talk about beings from another universe, which is essentially Marvel. In Thor issue 2, page 2, Thor is also talking about characters. And as you see the background, the panel literally is the Daily Bugle's Earth symbol, and you see a red and blue flash coming around it. So he's talking about how they have gods in this other universe that are very powerful. They have a god who can fly, Superman, a god of speed, Flash. Because then you see the next panel, you see a bolt of lightning running around. They said he talks about an emerald god, and you see a green streak.
And they talk about a god of darkness. And you see Batman. Oh, essentially, all these look like blurred versions of all of them, obviously.
Okay. All right.
Essentially, a blurred version of Batman. And it kind of pulls back and almost looks like it's Gotham City because you kind of almost see the bat in the shadows part.
Okay.
And he's talking about a goddess of power. And they're thinking that might be Wonder Woman because she's so strong. And he also he literally throws down a comment about a league of gods. And he's talking about DC, they think. So the reason I bring all this up is because, Disney owns Marvel, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And there's rumors now that since Don Didio has left, that Disney is possibly interested in buying the DC universe. And there's rumors that Disney's kind of looking at it. And now I don't know if that just means the comic book side of it, because I don't think Warner Brothers is going to want to give up any of their movie rights.
No, for sure.
I doubt that. I mean, they would literally have to buy Warner Brothers themselves, which maybe they could do that too, but
I mean,
that's
Disney,
a big acquisition.
Disney can buy everyone because they have more, like they made more than 50% of the box office receipts last year was just Disney. All of the other studios combined, I think, added up to like 38% or something like that. Like it's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, Disney owns everyone and everything, and they certainly have the capital to acquire WB. But
they do. That's true.
Warner Brothers is one of the other few profitable movie studios out there, so I can't imagine that they're looking to sell.
Yeah.
And anything that's big like this, like they just bought Fox. Anything that's big like this goes through all sorts of antitrust laws and
monopoly and all that.
Exactly. Right? So I don't know that Disney is going to buy another major studio anytime soon. Although Sony's been talked about for years. Now it sounds like possibly not necessarily Warner Brothers. You're talking more about DC, but
DC, because that was
kind
the
of
comment.
fits there too. So I don't know.
I don't know because I don't know how it works when it comes to the publishing rights and all that for DC Comics. Because they may be able to buy just that section, but then it comes to the point of does Warner Brothers own the comic part? Because they probably don't want to let go of the comics either.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's going to be interesting how they handle and play all of that. My thing is really, I think it's just interesting that Dan Didio has stepped down as co-publisher, and now, we're to have talks about possibly a big crossover event between Marvel and DC again. So does Disney want to play nice with, Warner Brothers and DC? Why are they letting their comics
doesn't
cross
play nice
over?
with anybody. Disney, every decision Disney makes is to make money, and they've made a lot of money making decisions that make a lot of people happy. So I'm not trying to paint them as a villain or anything, but they're in this to make money, and they're going to continue to do that to make money. So if they think that crossing over with DC Comics is going to make them money, they're definitely going to explore it. Now, I don't think that an ongoing mixture of the universes would make much sense.
See, it's going to be weird.
But an event, okay, you can do some sort of comic event. I mean, if we were ever able to get a Avengers versus Justice League movie,
that would be fun.
That would be amazing. I don't think we'll ever get it because okay, how do you determine who loses and who wins and which neither studio is going to want to back down?
Exactly, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think that stuff like that is definitely kind of a little bit of a pipe dream.
I mean, I can dream, right? I can dream.
You can.
Not that it's a good dream either. I really don't think it's a great dream.
No, and I mean, again, event movies or event comics that are kind of outside of continuity, I could be on board with. But I don't want them to have a giant, okay, we're doing, Avenger or Marvel versus DC on the big screen. So we've got Avengers and X-Men and all that versus the Justice League, whatever. Or, whatever.
That'd be weird.
And then moving forward, now we have to reference that. I don't want that.
That would be hard.
So
that's like the Annihilation Wave, and oh my gosh, yeah, there was so much with that one too.
So you'd have to come up with some kind of event that would erase everyone's memory at the end of it, so that nobody
everybody's.
I just that sounds like way too much work, too many hoops to jump through. Sure, do I want to see Hulk fight Superman or Batman versus I don't know, Moon Knight?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, sure, Batman versus Spider-Man. Let's do that.
And win.
Maybe.
I mean, that's where it gets a little odd because, like you said, how much do you retcon it? How much was it just a dream thing? Because in Batman, there was many years ago Batman and Punisher fought.
Mhm.
Batman beats Punisher. Punisher leaves Gotham, basically saying, too many clowns here, I'm done. Reference to Joker. So, with that being said, fast forward 20 years later or so, to almost 30 years, Nightwing comments about Batman fighting an insane man, calling himself like the Tower, something hinting towards Frank Castle.
What I mean,
So-
my question is, why didn't the Punisher just shoot Batman in the face?
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
That's literally what the Punisher does.
The one panel I didn't like, I mean, there's probably Punisher fans out there that can clarify this. Punisher punches Batman, and it was almost like he didn't even feel it. I'm like, no, Frank's not a weakling. Frank can punch pretty hard too. You know, they're both. He's a soldier. He was
Batman
trained.
is impervious to pain
Apparently,
and physical blows.
apparently he just wiped the floor with the Punisher, and I'm like, but where's your guns, Punisher? Like, where's your bombs, like grenades or anything? But
Who knows?
yeah, anyway.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so that's why I want to bring it up, guys, because you never know where this could go. Like you said, is it going to just be a one-time little, we fought, we're done, we kind of went our separate ways? Are we ever going to refer to it?
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
I am highly skeptical that we will ever get any sort of Marvel or DC crossover on the big screen. And certainly if we do,
No.
it'll be a long way away.
It'll be a whole new
But
set of actors.
A TV event, maybe. A comic event, that's the most likely.
Yeah,
But even that, I still wouldn't say that it's necessarily likely that it happens.
exactly.
Certainly possible.
It's possible, though.
Never know.
I mean, you don't. So it'll be interesting to see and where it could go and how it's going to play out. I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
So the other news, kind of sticking with our little comic book thing, because technically it was a comic book at one time too. Power Rangers. So
yeah,
I know you know probably nothing about Power Rangers. So the reason I bring it up,
Yeah,
because you know nothing on it, I'll talk for a minute.
I mean,
Just
I know
a quick minute.
I know that there was a Blue Ranger and a White Ranger and a Red Ranger and a Pink Ranger and Yellow. I got them.
You got it said red, blue, pink, yellow,
And
white.
Was there a Green Ranger too?
There was a Green Ranger, and
I thought there were just 5.
so originally you added one color at the beginning too much.
Oh,
So it's red,
okay.
black, blue.
There was
pink,
a Black
and yellow.
Ranger. See,
Yeah.
I was like all prepared to be racist.
Power Rangers did that for you.
Okay.
Because the original Power Rangers put the black guy as the Black Ranger.
Of course they
So
Because
Thank you, 1990s.
if they'd had somebody like, that's the Key and Peele sketch where it's like, you know, he's the green, I'm the Green Falcon. It's okay, Black Falcon. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So you
I
had
gotcha.
those, plus you get Green Ranger later, who becomes the White Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
So the cool thing is, they've been around since literally the 90s. So we're talking almost 30 years now.
The Mighty Morphin Power
Mighty
Rangers.
Morphin Power Rangers. I liked them. I grew up on it.
Yeah.
But they had a sneak peek of their Beast Morphers, I guess the new saga. Because every year it's kind of like, or in every couple years it's a new saga, new Rangers come out. So
Okay.
their Beast Morpher ones, they offer a first look at Austin St. John's return as the original Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger.
Hmm.
So he was the original Red Ranger way back, like I said, in the 90s. He's actually coming back, guys. So it's kind of cool to see him come back. If you do watch this live, you'll see right now. It didn't work, so never mind. You won't see anything because the
Womp
picture
womp.
did not load right.
Way to go.
But Austin St. John is doing his comeback and returning as the role as, I guess, a Red Ranger, it looks like. Because
Yeah.
we haven't seen him since way back in, those, gosh, like I said, 90s, which would have been Alpha, and you had, I forgot the main guy's name, and it's going to drive me nuts later. But anyway, Mighty Morphin, or not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Beast Morphers does premiere. It's 28th season, debuts sometime later this year on 2020, or next year, I'm sorry, 2021. So we'll see how it goes with him. 28 years, man. So I was gonna say almost 30 years. It started in 1992 then at that point. Because it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and thank you, Jason David Frank, for keeping it going for so long. Because you've also been, I think, the longest running Power Ranger.
So,
Next
okay.
to St.
So
John.
growing up, I did not watch Power Rangers, right? That was not my thing. Every time I came across an episode, I thought it was dumb. I didn't want to watch it. The movie that came out a few years ago,
Yeah.
not bad.
That's that's the one that like every Power Ranger person hates too.
It
That's
wasn't
what we all
bad.
hate.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, was it great? No, but it was kind of fun. Bryan Cranston's in it, and Elizabeth Banks is a weird villain that is in a different movie than everyone else. But there's like the climax takes place at a Krispy Kreme. Like, who doesn't love that?
I mean,
us people who liked it and enjoyed the original Power Rangers
I mean,
storylines.
it was a cheesy action movie about people that became Power Rangers to ward off evil. I don't know what more you wanted.
I want everything. I want all of it. And it's because they were like superpowers. They really didn't have superpowers. It was the suit that gave you powers, but they didn't have that. And you know what? I'm done because I don't like the movie. And Goldzar was not. No, I did not like it.
Oh.
Goldzar was not like that either. And Rita didn't look like that. I'm still mad at that.
Rita Repulsa, or whatever her name
Yeah,
is.
you got it right. Rita Repulsa. See, there you go. He got something. He got one thing, and that was his contribution to this
Only
topic.
because I saw the movie. I literally have no frame of reference for anything else.
So let's stick to older time frame stuff coming back.
More things that I'm
I
unfamiliar
don't know if you ever watched this, but Transformers. Did you ever watch it?
So I never watched the cartoon growing up. I've seen some episodes.
Okay.
I played with the toys because who doesn't? The Transformers toys are awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then of course I saw the first couple of live action movies. I think I saw the first 3. I was totally out. Like the first one was fine, and then the next couple I thought were bad, and I haven't seen any more. I still want to see Bumblebee, but didn't get a chance to see that one. But no, it's not something I grew up on. I never really watched the show.
Okay.
But certainly I was familiar with the Transformers and the Decepticons and all the toys. I mean,
how a big, huge robot became a small little gun. Made no sense with physics, but hey, whatever.
Don't worry about it. Optimus Prime is here to save the day. I did always love how the bad guys were like always transforming into way cooler stuff.
They really did, dude. They really, really did. I mean,
it's like Optimus Prime is like, I'm a semi-truck.
And he had Starscream, who was like an F-14, I think, at the time, or something like that. And it's like, I would rather have the plane than an 18-wheeler, but okay, whatever.
Don't worry about it.
But I bring it up because Netflix is bringing the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy to their show. So it's going to be an animated TV show.
Yeah.
And this is just my opinion. I don't know if you saw the trailer. I doubt it.
I did not get a chance to watch it. It's been a busy week, so I apologize to everyone.
This is why he's still under contract, because he didn't watch it yet. So.
Wait, you're telling me if I were to watch it right now?
No, not right now. It's too late. It's already happened. You can't. So the trailer is kind of cool. The animation is very up to date now. You know, we have a lot. It looks like a lot of computer graphics to it, which I love it. I love the way it looks. Now, looks aren't everything. You know, we do want a good storyline, but it's no.
Oh man.
No.
How am I gonna get ahead in life? That's the only thing I got going for me.
I mean, don't get like halfway there, maybe. It'd be good. I mean, I'm screwed no matter what, so I'm out. But Optimus looks beautiful. He looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I bring it up because the fact is, like, you get a hint at what the possible storyline is of this series, and it does seem like Optimus isn't like happy-go-lucky and all that. Like, we're gonna get through this. We got this. He seems a little bit darker, and the fact that we need this war, almost like
jaded.
Yeah, like he's been around too much. He's seen what the Decepticons can do. And almost in the same retrospect, we've seen Megatron talking about how the Autobots almost want to like take over. They want the power. It's not really them wanting power. So it makes you... I think they're going to try to show a different light for each side. Like, no, in times of war, no one is good. You know, everyone's kind of on their own side.
Shades of gray.
Yeah.
Not going black and white.
Exactly. And I kind of like that because in the 1986 cartoon, or movie, I think, is what came out first.
Yeah.
It was very black and white. Like, Optimus is good, Megatron is bad.
Well, literally, they're called Decepticons. I mean, that's the root word is deception, which, you know, is a lie, which is not good. Like, you shouldn't lie to people, Aaron.
I mean, I don't lie to people.
Telling me that I could have gotten out of my contract by watching this, and that was clearly a lie.
You never asked me if I watched this ahead of time, would I be able to get out of my contract? So nothing was asked, so technically no lie there. But I always would side to the Decepticons, just saying. Just happens to be the same thing. So I do like that, though, because, like, in that trailer, we do see, like I said, a little bit darker version of... I tried the whole trick face, too. We do see more of, like, the gray of everything. Yeah. And then, of course, until the end, you do see where Optimus is more of, like, this war needs to happen because it's kind of like the war to end all the wars kind of thing, which we've heard that story before.
That always goes well.
Oh, yeah.
It's the war to end all wars.
Yeah.
Guess what? There's another war coming.
There's another one right after
always
it.
more.
Within about 10 years or so, there's gonna be another one. But this one and all the ones before that, you know, that's what we meant.
For sure.
So it's gonna be interesting. I'm curious where they're gonna take it. So I want to know if anyone saw it besides me now.
I mean, I just played it on here, so
you watched it.
The animation looked weird. Actually,
You don't like the animation?
I didn't
like
say
it.
that. I just it looks different than almost any other animation style.
It does, and I kind of like that though. Like, try something new. You never know where it's gonna go.
It'll be interesting. So
it is a little blocky, a little bit. I'll say that.
Well,
but I think it's a shell shade.
And I think that's also on purpose.
Yeah,
because they're, I mean, that's kind of they are a blocky type of team. If you will. I mean,
if you ever read comics, I don't know if you've gotten this far back before. John Romita and his son, John Romita Jr. Have you ever seen their artwork?
Yes.
That's what kind of reminds me of.
Okay.
Because they draw that blockiness to it.
Yeah.
So if you know comic books, John Romita Jr. and John Romita, his dad, drew comics way back when, well, Jr.'s still around. And that's kind of like gives you an idea, if you've read comics, what the animation looks like, to me at least, with the darker tones to it. But like you said, very blocky. I'm still interested. I still think it looks really cool and beautiful. And I'm curious. We got Bumblebee back as being the little Bumblebee car, it looks like. Which I'm curious how they're going to do that.
I mean, I actually, in my backpack, sitting in this room, is a copy of the 1986 Transformers animated movie. Because I just got it from the library, and I'm going to watch it sometime soon. I don't know exactly when. I haven't blocked it out. But yes, I have that movie ready to watch. So I'm interested.
I know.
And I'm interested in this show. And I probably, I mean, there were really positive things about the Bumblebee movie that came out a couple years. So, I mean, I like the Transformers, and I think I've got a giant backlog of other things to watch. But if somebody comes out and says, like, this Transformers series is amazing, I'm going to go watch it. Yeah.
See, and we'll see. I'll be able to tell you if it's amazing or not. Because, And this is why he's still under contract. He's not going to get out of it. I'm telling you now. So
because I harassed you the whole time? Like, wouldn't you want me to not be here?
No, this is your torment.
Oh,
this is how I torment you back.
Okay, I see.
And on that note, as being a tormented person and a host, I just want to throw out there, guys, if you haven't yet, go check out Geek Out SA. I was on there this past weekend. Did a little video with Vince Guzman. His wife was out. She wasn't feeling good. Hopefully I don't have the coronavirus now because of that. Just saying. Love you guys. Bye. So, but yeah, it was fun, guys.
Really like that joke.
Just to, make, guys, if you haven't checked them out.
What? Corona.
That's how you kill it, right? You drink vodka, I thought.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's what I was doing.
Corona with lime. That way you can get the corona disease with Lyme disease, too.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that would, get rid of the virus, and then I'm good.
Double bad joke, but
he's terrible at that. So if you haven't checked out, guys, go check that one out, please. Again, that's Geek Out SA. They are on YouTube and Facebook. Go check them out. Check out the videos they do. They're fun little guys. They do a lot of new stuff and just general geek casting, I guess I should say. So check them out.
And while we're talking about YouTube, make sure to check out our YouTube page at Official GYGO, where we are currently running a huge project. We're releasing a couple of videos every week where we're going back through all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies leading up to Black Widow. So there's, I believe, 4 videos posted up to this point so far.
Yes, that's what I've edited, I believe.
We've got another one coming out later this week. So we've got Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and
Thor. So yeah, there's
Captain America, the First Avenger is coming out later this week, and then the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, is next Monday. So be on the lookout for those. Subscribe to our YouTube page, Official GYGO, so that you guys can get those notifications, and you can check out those videos every time they come up. We look at them. We don't just review the movie. We also kind of discuss where it fits into the overall Infinity arc. And if you have some people that you're trying to get into the Marvel Universe, but they don't necessarily want to watch all the movies, we talk about whether or not each movie is really essential to understand everything that happens. So if you're trying to maybe get a significant other or family member into the Marvel movies and you're struggling, maybe show them one of these videos, and if they don't really want to watch a movie, we can let you know, hey, maybe just watch one of our recaps. You don't really have to watch the movie. And then, hey, these are the ones that you definitely have to watch. So check out our series. We've been having a lot of fun recording it, and we're hoping that you guys are having fun watching it too. So again, that's at official GYGO.
Yep, and like you said, the movies or the shows come out Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. One was a little late. That was just some editing part, but mostly 6 p.m. Central Time, Mondays and Thursdays. So check those out. Like you said, Captain America will be this week, or the second film this week.
Yeah.
The first three were really fun to edit. I won't lie, guys. So it's so fun to watch. Like after we talked, and then sit there and like listen to it again and edit it. And I love it. So I really do recommend those guys.
They're fun conversations.
They really are. They really, really are.
We love these movies. What can we say?
Exactly.
It's like
I can say a lot.
I think we've been recording and watching these movies for the past few months because we're that's a lot of movies to get through.
So the secret is he stressed himself out.
I definitely. That's all the hair is gone.
I mean, in the first couple episodes, mine's long too, and I was like, "Oh, we lost hair."
We got some, in stages.
Yeah.
But we're having fun with it. We hope you guys have fun with it too. Like I said, we're leading up to Black Widow, releasing in early May. So I think we're gonna continue to release a couple of these every week as we get closer to that date, and have some fun. Join in on the conversation with us. Let us know what you guys think of the videos. Let us know what you think of the movies. We want to know. We want to have conversations about it. So.
We do. And speaking of movies, because then there's some movie news that came out, which was a little interesting. I wasn't really expecting this kind of news.
Okay.
But Borderlands has been talked about for years to become a movie. And I mean, like, since the first game came out almost 10 years ago, I think. Actually, 10 years plus, I think.
What is Borderlands?
So, that is a very good question. If you do not know what Borderlands
never
is.
played the game. I don't know anything about it.
Borderlands is a video game essentially following vault hunters. You're on this almost like a...
Following what?
Vault hunters. Like they hunt for vaults.
What's a vault?
A vault has riches inside.
Oh, kind of vault, like a bank vault.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So they are searching for this treasure essentially in the first game. You have these characters who show up. And it's almost like a planet that's kind of a wasteland kind of planet. That's the best way to describe it. Just imagine like what's that movie? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my creds here. Mad Max, kind of like the Mad Max feel.
Okay. So a little post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Okay.
So they're all like that. Imagine those kind of crazy characters that are just like, they want to fight, and they charge at you with swords or broken like daggers and stuff and guns, and you're fighting all these guys off trying to get to the vault. You find out Handsome Jack is a villain in this, and there's a whole thing about it. Well, it's not. I mean, it's been quite a while if you haven't played the game.
I mean, I literally just told you I didn't know anything about it. So
I mean, you got me there, true. So I recommend playing it, guys. If you haven't tried it, there's the Handsome Jack collection, which I believe has the prequel game that they made, and the first and second game, I believe, are on there as well, or at least the first one. So you get 2 games if you buy the Handsome Jack collection. It's a very beautiful cell shading look. It kind of is what started a lot of this cell shading for video games and some comics and movies and stuff like that. They kind of were like the pioneers for that art style. Yeah. So, like I said, it's been years. They keep talking, we're going to make a movie because it's real easy to make. You got 4 characters working together to stop it and to get the treasure, and then other stuff happens and, quests, essentially. Sure. But Lionsgate owns the rights to it, and they are possibly going to be making the movie.
Sure.
And they finally have a director in Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Out of all people.
Well,
I didn't expect that.
And I know he's kind of known for horror. Mm-hmm. in his work. I mean, he's done, like he did some of the Hostel movies. He did, I think, Death Wish. Recently, I think he did The House with the Clock and the 12s, which is kind of like a kids horror movie.
That was with Jack Black.
Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. I actually saw it. It wasn't bad. Like it was a kids movie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like super scary or anything, but it had some fun elements to it. But yeah, I mean, without knowing anything about Borderlands, is that a horror vibe? It didn't really sound like it. Sounded like more like an adventure, kind of post-apocalyptic wasteland adventure type game. So, do you see this as we should have a horror twist on it? Like we need a horror director, or? Honestly,
no. Like if you are watching this live, I have a picture of Eli Roth and the Borderlands cast. This is the original cast from the first game. Mm-hmm. I don't essentially get a horror feel whenever I played it. I felt like a Mad Max. Like I really felt like these guys are crazy because like I'll point a gun at them and they're still charging at me with a knife, And it's just like, I'm going to shoot you. You're going to die. Okay. Blow your head off. And now it is gruesome because, like, when you shoot him, blood flies everywhere. It goes all over the place. The heads explode. When you fight some of these bigger, like, monstrous creatures and you shoot one, it's just, like, implodes kind of thing. And it's gory. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a horror genre. I would say it would be more of, like, almost like a... like the subgenre of horror, what's it called? Like blood porn, like the Saw movies later became. It was just how much blood can we throw in. So I'll give it that, but as a horror film,
and
no,
I think
I don't
maybe
think so.
like he is kind of known more for that gory side of horror. So
maybe that's why.
Maybe that's where like they think he's a big fit. Maybe he's just a huge fan of the game and he's just really excited to do it. I don't really know
exactly.
Anything, so.
And that's now there is, there's DLC for games out there, and there was a DLC for a zombie version of the game where the doctor in the game who helps is like your medic essentially. Mm-hmm. He creates like a zombie virus. Wow. So maybe they'll follow that DLC. Maybe they'll kind of go that route so they can get a little more of the horror aspect. Because with this game, it is open world. It's an open sandbox they call it, where meaning you can pretty much go anywhere and do pretty much anything. Nice. With certain limitations because you still got areas you kind of have to stay in. So maybe they could just follow one line of it. Like maybe it's after they open the vault and they've gotten riches and now they have to face the zombie apocalypse part. Who knows? But I'm excited. I mean, finally, this movie's finally getting some traction. It's finally saying, hey, maybe we'll get somewhere with this. Who knows? So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Now I know how much of a gamer you are.
I'm the biggest gamer that sits in this chair.
In that chair, though. Not this one, but that one. So, with that being said,
yes,
Mr. Gamer.
Yeah.
You know who Phil Spencer is, right? You obviously know who he is. I'm saying no, not at all. Okay. Well,
I know who Phil Vercoda is. He was a hockey player in the 1980s.
This is from the guy from Chicago, so of course he knows hockey.
You bet I do.
I mean, I have no idea who that is.
We just passed the 40th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, okay? And he was on that team. So
I know
that's what we're talking about.
Wayne Gretzky. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
That's the great one.
Only one I know.
You're good.
Okay, as long as I know one player, I'm good, guys, apparently. Well, Phil Spencer heads...
I've heard the name, actually.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know who it is.
Well, he is actually the main guy at Microsoft, at Xbox, specifically.
Nice.
So if you want Xbox news, you talk to Phil.
Philip Spencer.
Phil Spencer, yes, sir. And Phil Spencer actually, this past weekend, decided to go ahead and post a little blog out about some possible news. He is the head of Xbox, so he gets to do that. He gets to say, you know what, today I feel like I'm going to post news about Xbox.
Boom.
And he drops it. So, E3 is coming up in about June. I believe like mid-June is when E3 happens. E3.
Wasn't there some announcement about some company skipping that due to some concern over the coronavirus?
So PlayStation actually skipped out PAX East and GDC because of the coronavirus. Yeah. They have yet to say if they're skipping out on E3.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking they're probably going to wait a few months and see.
Closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, you're fine. Because that's still...
I had some questions.
It's always good to have questions, guys. Always ask questions. So, Sony's backed out on those two, so we haven't heard much from Sony. But Phil Spencer decided this past weekend he was bored, I'm guessing, and said, you know what? Slow news weekend, guys. Let's do some
sure.
news.
He hadn't been planning this for months or anything.
I doubt he did. He was just bored at home telling his kids, like, kids, what should I do today? And like, Dad, go ahead and release Xbox news. He's like, that's a good idea. So I did. And he did. So we actually got some news about the new Xbox Series X that's coming out later this year, probably a holiday. That's usually when they time it because they want us to spend all of our money for Christmas on these things.
Sure, yeah.
So Phil talks about a lot of stuff that's coming out with the Xbox Series X. Now, this information was leaked essentially a while back through another news source who they were usually been pretty right on rumors, and they've been right. They were right on everything on this. So if you are watching us live right now, I do have a picture of the specs up right now of what the Xbox Series X will have. Phil says it will have 12 teraflops, a variable rate shading, hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing, quick resume for multi-games, and smart delivery. And you're probably asking, what the heck does all that mean as a gamer if you just want to sit there and play video games?
Sure.
So teraflops is essentially, I'm trying to figure out how to always break this part down. It's essentially your power behind it. The higher that number is, essentially the stronger and better the system is. So 12 teraflops is actually 8 times faster than the original Xbox and double, I believe, double or so of the current Xbox One X, which is supposed to be the most powerful console on the planet right now. But that doesn't mean anything without other stuff for it. We do want to see what else it can do. Just because you have the power doesn't mean can you handle everything. So essentially, the variable rate shading is like a new way to cycle through like the graphics, the pixels, and how they look on the screen to prioritize individual effects on specific game characters or important environmental objects. So if you want something to look really, really beautiful, it's going to help make that vibrant color to it. So you're going to get a lot of that. The ray tracing is a newer technology that's actually hit computers in the last about 2 to 3 years, I believe, maybe a little bit older, which is just more dynamic and realistic environments. So essentially, it's going to look more realistic. I mean, that's kind of the easiest way and the most simple way to point that out to you.
So unlike those like mid-90s video games where all the background characters just had like flat 2D faces, like we're moving past that is what you're saying.
Yes, we're finally past that after 30 years. We got you. We got you guys. So it is going to have SSD, next generation SSD. What that is, it's a solid slate drive, and those are some of the fastest drives on the planet right now, next to M.2 memory, which is faster. SSD is basically kind of becoming the standard for hard drives for a lot of gaming people. Sure. So if you have a gaming PC, that's what you want.
Solid state.
And it's basically going to get rid of load input. So when I don't know if you remember playing games back in the day where you had to wait like, 2-3 minutes sometimes it feels like for something to load. It's just like, okay, I'm waiting.
But I mean, please. Think of all the great music that we got to listen to while that was happening.
No?
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean,
and then the music ends, and because it's still loading, I've had that happen. It's like the music's over, and it's just sitting there on the screen going.
So have we moved past the very high tech way of making your game work again by blowing into it? Like we're past that.
We're past that. We're done with that.
Okay. Which of course you were never supposed to do.
But it worked every time. Like
sure
every time.
You gotta get the technique down where you're not getting any spit in there. You get dry breath.
Yep, nice and easy when you do it. I remember I rented a game from Super Nintendo game back at the old store we had, and there was a dead roach inside it. I was like, why isn't it working? I pulled out, I was like, there's a that explains it. So anyway,
you gotta blow it out.
Oh, he's dead. He flew out good. So the quick resume, which I mentioned earlier. Basically, what they're saying is if you can load up multiple games, essentially, you can still have your disc games, but Microsoft is kind of moving more to that cloud gaming.
Sure.
So if you have one game you're playing, let's say you're playing Apex, which is a big one right now, and your buddies are playing Fortnite, and you're like, hey, I just want to play some Fortnite. You jump right over, you're playing that, and let's say they all want to go back to Apex now, or they want to go to Apex. You're going to be able to instantly go over to Apex, and it's waiting there for you. If you don't have to reload it, nothing.
Nice.
You want to go play Halo after that? Bam, you can play it. Oh, we're going to go back to Fortnite. And you can easily jump between all these games, and they're all going to be ready. You're not going to have to wait for load times. You're not going to have to wait for anything because of the quick resume. It's going to suspend and hold the game and let you play other things all at once.
That sounds like the pie is in the sky on that one, because that's pretty significant.
It is. I mean, that to me was a big claim, because I'm like, do you realize the processing power? But they're hoping with those 12 teraflops that they're going to be able to handle that, especially with the SSD drive being able to essentially constantly move. Yeah. There is no technically flying case. There is no moving parts in a solid state drive. But they're also using the new HDMI inputs, which is going to help with the latency on the screen and how quickly it registers the frames per second. And the good thing is they are saying that Xbox Series X will support 120 frames per second. So that's going to be really, really amazing, because the standard right now is they're trying to get to 60 frames per second on most games, and they're trying to double that.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool to see that happening. I mean, there's a lot, guys. They're really shooting for it.
I think one of the last things that was on there was like smart delivery. What does that mean?
Let me see. So smart delivery, if I'm not now I remember what smart delivery is. So let's say you buy a game for your Xbox, right? So you buy the game for Xbox One X right now. And then you want to go ahead and upgrade your console to the Xbox Series X.
Okay.
Well, normally I would have to buy the game all over again.
Right.
Because now it's not working. What they're doing with the smart technology is if you buy that game on your Xbox One X now, and there's an upgraded version that comes out for the Xbox One X, or Xbox Series X, you're gonna get an upgraded copy for free. So essentially, like for instance, let's say Halo. Halo comes out.
Yeah.
If it comes out towards the end of the life cycle of this current console, the Xbox One X or the Xbox One, I should say, and they say, okay, we're gonna make an Xbox Series X game of it. Even though I bought it on Xbox One X, I'll be able to play it on my Series X.
Nice.
So you're gonna get an upgraded copy. It's gonna look nicer. It's gonna run better. You're gonna get all those because they don't. Xbox is against having to buy the game multiple times.
So it's not just like backwards compatibility where you can play an old game on the new console. They're going to give you the version of that game that came out on the newest console.
Exactly.
As long as you buy it once. That's
so you buy it once and you're done.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it goes the other way around. If you buy it for the Xbox One, the newest Xbox Series X, if it'll play on the Xbox One. I don't know if it does that.
Why would you downgrade?
You're going to a buddy's house. You forgot to bring your console, so you got to put his. I don't know. But I love how you did comment backward capability because Xbox Series X will be able to play Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox games. So that is one thing that they are trying to see.
2003 NCAA March Madness.
If you really wanted to, you could.
Love that game.
Now they are adding more games. I don't know why that specific one, but okay.
It was fun.
They are adding new games to the library. They have quite a few right now on the Xbox One that can play 360 and original Xbox games. They're constantly adding more.
Nice.
And the Series X is going to keep that trend going. Microsoft has been listening to the public. PlayStation not so much. PlayStation says people don't want backward capability, but we do. I think a lot of gamers are really excited for that part, to be honest. Now, one thing they have said, Sony has been quiet almost completely about what the specs are of their next console. So with that being said, the same site who commented these things were going to happen did comment that the PlayStation would run at 9.2 teraflops. So it's technically already coming out weaker. So who knows? If you're not about hardware, then who cares? But power can bring the games around, maybe.
I still like the controller for PlayStation.
I can't get the grip down and like how it would hold in my hand. It's like
the Xbox One's it's too unwieldy. There's too many things going on. I don't need that. I don't need that noise.
There's the same buttons though.
I don't need that noise.
I don't. It's a controller.
No.
I remember the original Xbox had those X-Wing ones, were like freaking huge, bulky ones. Like
bring back the Nintendo 64 controller, which was impossible to position your hands where you could get to every button, but it was still the best.
I don't get that. Like you
with
really
the trigger and the joystick. I mean,
you really couldn't. Like that's the funny thing. It is really like how do I?
Yeah,
I'm over. I can't hit the Z button, guys.
No, you can't.
I got it.
It's still a great controller.
It really was.
Console.
That's probably my favorite console, honestly. Now that you said that. So
going back to James Bond, bro. GoldenEye
64, the best game on that thing. Next to, I think Perfect Dark was good though.
I remember Perfect Dark coming out. Actually, GoldenEye I hated because I didn't have that console and I didn't own the game. And if I went to any of my friends' houses, they knew every shortcut. They knew they knew everything, and so it was like the worst experience to play that game with them because you just die the whole time. They'd be like, and you'd finally get a shot in on them, and it's like, why did they die? And it was because they found the body armor and they knew where it was. I'm like, so
did you play Odd Job so you could be at least that little advantage?
No, Odd Job as is appropriate. Odd Job was banned. No one was allowed to be Odd Job.
I forgot who I used to play with, but they would always pick Odd Job, and I'm like, I have to aim low. I hate you. But the problem is when you start playing with that character, you kind of always aimed a little low, and you always got a headshot on him. So once he started realizing we were doing that, he stopped picking it. I was like, yeah, we're all going to aim just that little bit lower, so we hit you right in the head when you come around the corner, and we win. We don't care what body armor you have. We'll keep shooting you in the head.
There you go.
So on that note, I really think that kind of covers everything. A lot of what came out this week, guys. So
it's been a busy week, but a lot of interesting news for sure. I don't know how much exciting news there was, but a lot of interesting news.
That's true. I mean, there's one thing I just want to touch on real quick, and I thought of it. I just want to mention it.
How dare you? It's not in the show notes.
It's not, but I'm adding it. So they had Google Stadia came out, and the trial period for all the people who bought it ends this month, essentially. Okay. So now people have to pay for it, and that's $10 a month membership, essentially, if you want to keep your Pro. And the problem is, Google
anyone that
Stadia,
remembers to cancel it is going to.
I mean, they are, because it's fails. If you heard us, now the reason I also mentioned it is we do have a gaming little show we do. do it about once a month. And I talk about the Stadia, that it only has about 30 games, and they promised another 100 or so this year, and they haven't talked about when any of those are coming out.
Nope.
So if you subscribe to that, I am sorry, because, yeah, you probably shouldn't have.
Get your money back.
Exactly. Just want to comment on that. And if you want to hear more geek news or game news, there will be another podcast for that. Next couple of weeks will be up on YouTube. And all of our podcasts.
Don't worry, I'm not on that one, so a person that doesn't know anything about gaming, I won't be there.
He won't be there, but hopefully maybe another Robert will be there, or one of our other guests who's helped us out in the past.
Yeah.
But check that one out, guys. And I really say that is because it is a podcast, so you can check it on YouTube, but there won't be any visuals. You can check it out here on Facebook. But we are on Google, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. But we're on all major podcasts.
Nice.
So you can watch us or listen to us wherever you can download your podcasts from.
Where? How do they find it?
And they find it by looking official GYGO up, and you'll be able to find it all, or just get your geek on, and you'll be able to see it, or even Talkin Geek, which is the name of the show.
Or Gaming Geek.
Or Gaming Geek, because it's also there. But either way, you'll find all of our shows under our banner of official GYGO.
Nice.
Get your geek on. So you'll be able to check them all out. And then once you find our channel, just subscribe to it on your favorite one, and you'll get all the updates of when the podcasts come out. The podcasts themselves come out usually on Wednesdays at about 9 a.m. That's when I get it uploaded. Or you can watch us here on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Woohoo!
So on that note, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any comments, if you want to give us some talking points or anything, if you want us to talk about something you like, definitely we can do that. Sean, I do apologize. I saw your comment kind of late, but just want to comment real quick. We did talk a little bit about the DC comic at the beginning of the show, so that kind of, if you want to check that back out, I'm sorry for the delay on that. But again, guys, I'm Aaron. This is Sleepy Robert now. This is Get Your Geek On. This is Talkin Geek. And y'all stay geeky. And what makes you geek? Have a good night.